Hello, friends, and welcome to Into Fly Fishing. I'm Nick Jovanovich, and today we're here to talk about tying one of my favorite patterns, the Rainbow Warrior. So here we go. All right, friends, thanks for being here. This is Into Fly Fishing. I'm Nick Jovanovich. Like I said, we're going to talk about tying the Rainbow Warrior. It's one of my favorite go-to flies in the winter. It's January. It's freezing out here right now. It's about to start snowing. My hands are getting tingly, and I love using this fly in the winter for a few particular reasons. I use it on the smaller end. We're talking like maybe 16, 18, 20, even 22 in the wintertime to replicate hatching midge. So yes, this fly is considered an attractor pattern. It's got a very pretty color. It's got a lot of flash to it. But if you think about a midge pupa, what's happening is that when they're shedding skin under the water, they're releasing some gas bubbles, and those gas bubbles can catch the light, especially UV light, and give a flash. And those fish are keying on said flash. Now in the summer, this is also one of my favorite flies to fish during a caddis hatch. So if the fish are queuing on caddis pupa, not necessarily the nymphs or the adults, this Rainbow Warrior is also a very, very good go-to pattern. Same story. The caddis pupa shedding skin in the water, releasing gas bubbles, flash from the sun and the UV light attracts the fish. In the summer, I will fish this one a little bit bigger. We're talking somewhere between 12 and a 16, sometimes an 18 for those real small black caddis. Before we go any farther, if you could please just hit like on this video, follow us here on this channel, check us out on the other social media channels. It would mean a huge deal for us. We really appreciate you. We need your support to keep doing this. It takes a lot of time, effort, and yes, even money to bring these videos to you. We love doing it. We want to keep doing it. So anything you can do to help out makes a huge difference.
In this video, we're featuring the River Runs Colorado fly tying vise. It's a portable vise with a nice weighted base, fully adjustable with jaws, locking mechanism on the back, 360-degree rotation ability, and it comes with a bobbin cradle as well. It's a very nice, fully functional design, and you can adjust the tension on the rotation as you like as well. We're also featuring the Yufeng CNR Nymph hooks 0031 in a size 14. These are available from sizes 8 all the way down to size 18.
There's going to be links in the description down below. Hit those links. That helps us out a lot too, and we really, really appreciate you. Okay, now on to the video. The hook that we're going to use is a size 14. This is the Aventic brand, the Yufeng curved nymph hook. We're going to use a 2.4 millimeter silver bead. The body on this is pretty simple and straightforward. We use a red thread. We're going to wrap that with a thin, small pearl tinsel, and then finish it with a silver ultra wire wrap as well. The tail that I use on this is I'm using a medium speckled pardo. I use this for a lot of different flies right in the middle of the road. A lot of these recipes for this fly are going to call for something like a pheasant tail or similar. I really like CDC for a lot of things, a lot of nymph tails. It just looks a little bit more natural to me. On this is, again, you're going to see a lot of recipes calling for a rainbow colored mixture of ice dub, and I prefer to use this Adams Gray Wabbit dubbing from Montana Fly Company. It's a little lighter in color. It's not such a crazy color pop. It's a lot more buggy looking as well. And then we've got our standard tools, of course. We've got scissors, whip finisher, and I've got this little razor blade here that's really nice to get in and make little very precise cuts.
Your Aventic Colorado vise comes with this really nice hard case, great for storage and for travel. Good solid clasps, keep everything closed and secure. Speaking of secure inside, we've got laser cut foam, keeps everything nice and padded and separate. Nice layout and design. The materials on this thing are pretty quality. Everything feels good. All the motion feels good. The rotation feels good. And I like the jaws on this to get the hook, and we're going to release the back here. And then whatever size we're tying, we're going to adjust this little adjuster here just to the outside width of the hook, and then lock it in place like so when we go to tie. Great design. It works really, really well. The base, nice and heavy enough for your main vise at home, but also it's light enough for travel. And all these different holes, you can use that to move the vise positioning or hold tools. This Colorado vise comes with a bobbin cradle as well. You can position it anywhere you like, and it keeps your thread bobbin out of the way while you're wrapping other materials. And also this little tensioner tool here is nice. You can back it off or make it nice and tense so you can hold in place at any angle. And as mentioned before, we're going to use the Yufeng tying hooks. This is an Aventic company, and the metal on these hooks seems pretty solid. They're not too thin, not too thick. Point seems like it's great. Of course, you can sharpen that later down the road if you need to, and I've been enjoying these things. Now, you get 100 of them for the price of other companies that in a quantity of 25 or even 50, so that's great.
Okay, so we're starting off with our size 14 Eufeng nymph hook. That's the curved nymph hook and the 2 millimeter silver bead. We're going to take our red thread and start that. Get a nice few wraps to hold everything down. Trim off the back end here. And we're going to lay a nice base of thread because we want our materials to touch the thread, not the hook. Otherwise, everything is just going to start sliding around on us. So laying a nice base. And now we're going to grab that CDL, the Coq de Leon, for the tail fibers. And we're going to select just a few of them. We don't want too many. 3 to 5 fibers is going to be plenty. Lay them across the back, get a nice capture. Make sure they're nice and secure, and I'm going to make sure that they're not twisting around the hook, that they're going to lie straight down the back of the hook shank. And I'll hold these tail fibers together and kind of work backward down the curve. I want these tail fibers, this CDL tail, to curve and point sort of downward, almost at a 45 degrees. So we're going to work back down the hook a little bit more. Careful with the hook point as you're doing that wrap way back there. And then we're going to trim off the front end of these CDL tail feathers. Next, we're going to wrap in our ultra wire. And we're doing the ultra wire first because it's going to wrap over the top of our flat pearl tinsel. Now I got to pull off a little bit of tinsel and tie in our flat tinsel next over the top of the wire because, as I said, we're going to wrap this one first. Make sure it's nice and secure, working back down toward the bend in the hook shank, all the way back to where the tail hits the body. And we'll get the thread wrap forward, shy of the bead of the hook, or sorry, shy of the bead because we need to leave room for the thorax. And now I'm going to move the thread out of the way. You got the bobbin rest over here. This curved hook's kind of hard to use with the spinning vise, so I'm just going to wrap manually like so with this tinsel. Make sure it stays in place. And it looks a little bit clear in this video lighting, but it has a blue and green pearlish sheen to it. I'm going to shorten up the distance here with the thread, make it easy to wrap. Make sure we get a few good captures on that tinsel. And go ahead and trim that one off. Now, because I wrapped the tinsel toward me, I'm going to go the opposite direction with the ultra wire. Move it, rotate the vise a little to make sure I'm getting some good, even wraps. I don't like that. Let me back up and get a little bit better spacing here. There we go. That's looking a lot better. Nice, even body segmentation. And capture and tie, then cut off the ultra wire. If I score it just a little bit, I should be able to twist this right off like so. There we go. And we're almost there. Now I'm going to take the Adams Gray Wabbit dubbing, and again, I like this one better than the ice dub. It's a little bit buggier, not quite so over-the-top colorful. You could use wax on the thread if you want to. Sometimes I just get a little damp and then twist it on, like so. And we'll start making some wraps. I'm going to twist it a little bit tighter. It's a little bit fuzzy. Got a little too much on there, so let's just pull this off the bottom of the thread and get a good solid double, triple whip finish. Great. Pull that nice and snug, trim it down, and then we're a little bit fuzzy on the wabbit dubbing, so I'm going to rotate it around and trim off these really erratic hairs that are sticking out all over the place. Still want it to look kind of leggy or buggy or like a wing case is popping out, but I don't want it to be too crazy. That's looking a little bit better. And I might work on this just a little bit more. You can put a little bit of head spit down in there if you want to. You got to be careful. You don't want to put head spit on the wabbit dub though. And that's looking pretty good. All right. Well, friends, I hope you really enjoyed that tying video. We really appreciate you being here. Again, if you just don't mind hitting like on this video, subscribing to the channel, check this out on the other social media channels. It makes a big, big, big difference. Links for things that you see in this video are in that description below. Hit those if you want to get any of this gear, and that helps us out big time as well. Anything you can do in that way really helps us keep these videos coming to you. Again, this is Into Fly Fishing. I'm Nick Jovanovich. Thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you next time.